welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something pretty interesting, maybe a bit unexpected, bibliophobia.
Yeah, the fear or even hatred of books.
Exactly. And we've pulled together some, well, quite varied sources to get our heads around it. We got definitions, historical stuff, literary examples.
It's a good mix. We're looking at the Oxford English Dictionary, Holbrook Jackson's The Fear of Books, some insights from Tom Shippey on the medieval angle,
Okay.
mentions in Adam Roberts' sci-fi history, a Russell Kirk centerpiece on Ray Bradbury, and even Thomas Dibdin's Bibliophobia.
So the idea is to give you a quick but solid overview of why books, these things we see everywhere, could actually provoke fear.
It does make you think, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's dive in. The OED definition is pretty simple.
Mm.
Fear or hatred of books. Straightforward enough.
Right. But Holbrook Jackson, writing, gosh, almost a century back now, he suggests it's often about being afraid of what books might do.
Two, like their effect on society or culture.
Exactly. He links it directly to censorship, even book burning. It's kind of the dark twin of bibliophilia, the love of books, which, most of us probably get more easily.
Right, that makes sense. So why? Why fear books?
Well, that's where the power question comes in, I think. And the history gives us some clues.
Like Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China.
Yeah, him. His big book burning. It wasn't just random vandalism, it was strategic. He wanted to stamp out Confucian ideas.
Why? What was the threat?
Confucianism emphasized tradition, a certain social order, things that kind of clashed with his push for centralized control, and, well, pretty radical reforms. The books represented that opposing ideology.
Okay, so it's about suppressing ideas that challenge power.
Often, yeah. And Tom Shippey offers another fascinating perspective, looking at medieval times.
What was his take?
He talks about how literate clergy, maybe beadles too, could use texts, religious texts, legal documents to, well, frankly, exploit or even terrify people who couldn't read.
Wow. So literacy itself became a tool of power, and the book a symbol of that power.
Precisely. Shippey even points to Chaucer, like the Pardoner's Tale, as showing that dynamic in literature. The power you hold when you're the one interpreting the scary bits of text for everyone else.
So it wasn't always fear of the content necessarily. Sometimes it was fear of the literate few.
It could be both, but yeah, that distinction's important. The book as a symbol of authority held by just some people. Then you've got things like the Spanish Inquisition.
The Index Librorum Prohibitorum.
Right. Their huge list of forbidden books.
Right.
That's another very clear example of censorship driven by, well, bibliophobia, a fear of certain ideas getting out and undermining their control, religious and political.
It's striking how this isn't just some dusty historical footnote. It pops up in fiction, too.
Absolutely. You can't really talk about this without mentioning Ray Bradbury.
Fahrenheit 451, obviously.
Yeah.
The fireman who burns books.
Yeah. And that Russell Kirk Center article connects Bradbury's work to real anxieties, especially from the Cold War era, the fear of losing knowledge, losing independent thought.
The fear that ideas themselves are dangerous.
Exactly. That conformity is safer. Bradbury saw books and the critical thinking they encourage as a direct threat to that kind of repressive social order.
So thinking about this history,
Mm-hmm.
how does it resonate today? For you, listening.
Mm-hmm.
We might not have state-sponsored book burnings in the same way.
Not usually, no.
But what about modern parallels? Debates about information control, maybe? The power of narratives online, the arguments over what kids should read in schools?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Why have societies, again and again, seen books as something potentially dangerous? What's the aha moment there for you?
So wrapping up our deep dive here, bibliophobia, it seems, is this complex fear. It's tangled up with power, with controlling ideas, controlling people, really.
Yeah, and maintaining social structures. We've seen it in actual history, and we see it reflected powerfully in fiction.
But definitely more than just being scared of a paper object.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Yeah.
How might this fear manifest now, perhaps more subtly? In a world drowning in information, what are the modern terrifying texts, the ideas or narratives that challenge norms, that threaten power structures today? It's worth considering how that old anxiety about the written word might still be shaping things, even in our digital age.